Interior stores at Mill Creek Mall get the green light to reopen. We speak to owners about their final days of preparation.
And a deadly Father's Day weekend across several U.S. cities. At least a dozen people are dead after a string of shootings.
Find out how people are celebrating Father's Day at Presque Isle State Park.
In high definition from your news leader, this is 1024 Action News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brian Wilk. Stores inside Mill Creek Mall will soon welcome back its customers on June 26th. This coming after mall owners suing Governor Tom Wolf over economic damage from the shutdown. Now, Star Bodie spoke to inside store owners about their preparations for Friday. She joins us in the newsroom with more. Hi, Star.
Hi, Brian. It's been more than 3 months since store owners have seen customers inside their shop, and they tell us it's been a long waiting game. Interior store owners at Mill Creek Mall are getting the green light to reopen to customers.
Probably should have happened a long time ago. And quite honestly, we were very upset and frustrated by the fact that the state waited so long to get things open.
Frustrations continued for months, leaving Mill Creek Mall owners seeking legal action against Governor Tom Wolf and Pennsylvania Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine.
The whole lockdown was conducted in an arbitrary and capricious manner. There was no rhyme or reason as to when Erie County went from red to yellow, green.
The owners of Mill Creek Mall look to continue the lawsuit even though the mall will reopen on June 26th. Interior store owners tell us they're taking the next few days to prepare for its guests' return by adding new safety guidelines.
We actually thinned out the store by removing racks to make more room to move around, so you don't have to go just in a circle. You can actually go down aisles and get away from each other if you want to, and space out and thinned it out. Another store owner looks to limit store hours for the first few weeks.
So we're not going to open the full mall hours. When some of the other malls that we opened in, we did see it was kind of a slow ramp up of how the stores opened. The mall food court will also reopen to customers with tables spaced out from one another. Now, Joe Bell, the spokesperson for Cafaro Company, tells us stores inside the mall will have different hours than the Mill Creek Mall in general, so to be on the lookout to see which stores you're looking to go to. Brian?
Star, thank you. An early morning stabbing sends a 31-year-old man to the hospital. According to Erie police, this happened on the 2200 block of Liberty Street. The man was taken to UPMC Hammett, where his condition is not known. No arrests have been made, and Erie police are still investigating. And an update to a story we brought you at 6. A Mercer County man is in an intensive care unit after a motorcycle wreck on Perry Highway, Route 19 in Mercer County. Now, state police originally reported that the 36-year-old man died of his injuries in the hospital. Now, according to state police, this happened Saturday afternoon. 36-year-old Jonathan Hobart was traveling south when a car going the opposite direction turned into his lane. The cycle struck the side of the car. Hobart was flown from the scene to St. Elizabeth Hospital in Youngstown, Ohio, where he remains in the intensive care unit. He was not wearing a helmet, and the 67-year-old female driver of the car suffered only minor injuries. Now to the coronavirus and the dangerous rise in diagnosed cases. Now, President Trump holding his first campaign rally in months since the pandemic started. ABC's Zoreen Shah has more.
President Trump back on the campaign trail holding his first rally Saturday in Tulsa since the coronavirus crisis began.
I saved hundreds of thousands of lives. We don't ever get even a mention.
The president's re-election campaign dismissing concerns about holding the event amidst the ongoing pandemic. But hours before he arrived in Oklahoma, 6 staff members, including 2 Secret Service agents, testing positive for the virus. In addition to taking on rival Joe Biden and the George Floyd protests, the president also addressed the increasing number of COVID cases.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. They test and they test. We got tests that people don't know what's going on.
Advisor Peter Navarro claims it was a joke.
President Trump said last night at the rally that he had actually asked for testing to be slowed down.
That was tongue-in-cheek. What else you got? That was clearly tongue-in-cheek. That was clearly tongue-in-cheek.
This as cases surge across the nation, many in states that were among the first to reopen. In Florida, nearly 3,500 new cases reported today. Arizona, which President Trump plans to visit this week, also seeing a rising trend. While New York City prepares to enter phase 2 on Monday, restaurants setting up to offer outdoor seating to patrons. And the famed Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama welcomes 5,000 fans back to today's NASCAR event. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is planning to update its recommendation on masks. CDC researchers have been conducting a scientific review about the masks during the coronavirus pandemic. Scientists wanted to study if masks protect people from contracting COVID-19, not just from spreading it. The new guidance is expected soon. And here are the latest numbers of positive COVID-19 cases across the Commonwealth. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, there were 464 additional cases of COVID-19 reported, bringing the total to nearly 82,000. In addition, there were 4 new deaths, bringing that total to 6,423. Here in Erie County, the County Department of Health reporting 8 new cases, bringing the total number of positive COVID-19 cases to 532. Crawford County reporting 2 new cases with a total of 40 tonight, and Warren County still has 5 cases. Chautauqua County, New York is remaining at 118 cases. Ashtabula County, Ohio has 407 cases. And the Wattsburg Fire Department is speaking out after a video circulated over social media. Now, take a look at this. On Friday at the Lake Erie Speedway, a local merchant that bought a Wattsburg fire truck had a Trump 2020 flag on the old truck. The old Wattsburg Hose Company's logo was also not removed from the truck. Norman Martin, the fire chief of the Wattsburg Hose Company, tells us the fire department does not independently support any candidates.
The truck hasn't been in our possession for 4 years. He was called and spoke to about it, and he is removing anything that says fire department or that off the truck, and he apologized.
And the truck was used at the speedway to water down the track. And deadly gun violence in several U.S. cities this Father's Day weekend. A string of shootings have killed at least a dozen people and left many more injured. Whitney Wild has the latest.
The 3-year-old that was fatally struck in the back.
A wave of violence coast to coast this weekend. That 3-year-old boy, just one of 4 children killed by gunfire in Chicago this Father's Day weekend. At least 60 people were shot in the city, 9 fatally as of Sunday morning.
Shut this west side down until we find out who discharged that weapon and took the life of this baby.
Community leaders are offering a $2,500 reward for information about the 3-year-old's murder.
We're going to be asking this community to step up with any type of information.
In Minneapolis,
I don't know if they're breathing or not.
I saw people just shooting just 30, 40, 50 shots. I don't know. It sounded like an automatic gun.
1 person died and 11 more were injured during a shooting on a crowded street.
We felt and heard bullets actually whizzing by our heads.
The Minneapolis police chief says the city is seeing an uptick in violent crime.
The violence has to stop.
In Syracuse, New York, at least 9 people between the ages of 17 and 53 were shot at a large gathering.
Several hundred individuals that began running towards officers, saying that individuals were shooting from the crowd.
And in Seattle, 1 person was shot and killed in the so-called autonomous zone, a section of the city taken over by protesters. In Washington, Whitney Wild, Jet 24 Action News.
And coming up on Jet 24 Action News, happy Father's Day. Take him to the beach, spend the day cooking hot dogs. Well, we caught up with some families who spent that special day with Dad on Presque Isle. That's after Craig's forecast. Hey, Craig.
Brian, again tomorrow we are at risk for more scattered storms. We'll give you the latest forecast next.
From your news leader, you're watching Brian Wilt. meteorologist Craig Flint, and Mike Fenner with sports. This is Jet 24 Action News, your news leader.